Good morning everyone. So I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. So today here we are to discuss something about JEE corner. Thus the concepts related to matrices and determinants. So today we are going to discuss something about matrices and determinants which are going to appear in your JEE examinations. Either it may be in mains or it may be in advanced. So before starting with the concepts here, so let me clear what will be the weightage of this part, that is matrices and determinants, in your JEE mains as well as your advanced. So you can see here, right? So in mains you get nearly 7 to 8 marks from this section, that is from matrices and determinant, whereas in advanced you will get 12 to 14 marks. So the weightage here will be around 6%, 6 to 7%, and here it will be around 15%, right? 15% of the weightage in the advanced will come from matrices and determinants, whereas 6 to 7% will appear in your JEE. Okay, so you all know the basics of matrices and determinant, but still here I'm going to refresh small concepts, the concepts about matrices and determinants in brief. Then we are going to discuss the tricks. So first let us discuss the concepts, the theory behind this, the synopsis, then we are going to discuss the tricks, right? So here now I'm not going into deep of this because these everything I have explained in my NCERT playlist. So you can go to my NCERT playlist, that is for matrices and determinants. So detailed explanation of all the things will be available there, right? So you can refer those things. Here I'm just going to throw a small light on that. Okay, so first of all, what is a matrix? So as the definition says, matrix is a systematic arrangement of numbers, or you can also define it as arrangement of informations in a systematic way, right? So that a more number of information can be stored in small place, right? So or matrix is a systematic array of numbers arranged in rectangular or in square form. Okay, so next coming to classification of matrix. So there are many classification of matrix. These are the general 9 classifications, right? These are the general 9 classifications of matrix which I have displayed here, right? But apart from these 9, there are many more classification which we make, which we define as special classification. All different classifications are available, but in general these 9 are available. So out of that, first one is row matrix. So what is a row matrix? As name itself suggests, row matrix is a matrix which is having only row, only one row. There will be no columns, right? There will be columns, but only one row. So a matrix which is having one row and many number of columns is called as row matrix. And what is column matrix? Exactly vice versa. So matrix which is having one column and more number of rows, one column and more number of rows is called as column matrix. Coming to square matrix. So square matrix is a matrix where number of rows are equal to number of column. So square matrix is a matrix where number of rows are equal to number of column. Next one is diagonal matrix. So what is diagonal matrix? Diagonal matrix is also a square matrix in which all the entries except diagonal, all the entries except diagonal elements are 0. There are only entries for diagonal elements. Remaining all elements are 0. Okay. So that is all about diagonal matrix. Coming to scalar matrix. So scalar matrix is a diagonal matrix. Scalar matrix is a diagonal matrix where all diagonal elements are same. Where all diagonal elements are same. That is nothing but scalar matrix, right? So when I define diagonal matrix, I define it as a square matrix. That means whatever characteristics are there for square matrix, that will be there for diagonal matrix also, right? So whenever I define scalar matrix, I define it as a diagonal matrix. I start the definition with diagonal matrix. Like scalar matrix is a diagonal matrix in which all the diagonal elements are equal. So that means whatever are the properties of diagonal elements, same will be the properties of scalar matrix also, right? So next, unit or identity matrix. So unit or identity matrix is once again a square matrix, right? So unit or identity matrix is once again a square matrix, or you can call it as diagonal matrix, in which all the diagonal elements are unity, right? Next, triangular matrix, right? So in triangular matrix we are having two types. First one is upper triangular matrix, second one is lower triangular matrix. What is upper triangular matrix? A matrix in which all the elements below diagonal, are 0 are called as upper triangular matrix. What is that? A diagonal matrix in which all the elements below diagonal are 0 is called as upper triangular matrix. Coming to lower triangular matrix. So what is lower triangular matrix? Lower triangular matrix is a matrix, it is also a diagonal matrix in which all the elements above diagonal are 0. All the elements above diagonal are 0. This is vice versa, right? So next, eighth one is null or zero matrix. So null or zero matrix is a square matrix in which all the elements are 0. So null matrix is a matrix in which all the entries are 0. Then only it is called as what? Null matrix, or it is also called as zero matrix. Okay. Coming to singular and non-singular matrix. So what is singular matrix? A matrix in which the determinant is not equal to 0, then it is called as singular matrix. If the determinant is equal to 0, then it is called as non-singular matrix. Okay. So now I think these things are very much clear. So now may take a moment, pause the video and have a look at this. Okay. So friends, I hope you understood the previous concepts. That was very much clear, right? So I have discussed them very elaborately and slowly in my NCERT section of matrices there. Okay. So now let's take up a new topic of this matrices, right, which we are having less scope in NCERT. That is, we have studied a very small part of this, or many of you might have not studied that one. There is nothing but trace of a matrix. This has got less scope in your NCERT, but it is having a very good scope in your competitive part. Either this competitive may be related to JEE or it may be related to your particular state board, but this trace of matrix is having a very important weightage in your competitive part. So there's every chance that you may get one question out of this, right? So sum of all elements, the definition of trace is sum of all elements, right, along the principal diagonal. So that is very important. All right. So as far as your NCERT is concerned or matrices is concerned, right, so diagonal means generally we take principal diagonal. What is the principal diagonal? The diagonal which starts from left top corner and ends at right bottom corner. From left top corner to right bottom corner. This is called as principal diagonal, because for a square matrix we have two diagonals. One is normal diagonal and another one is principal diagonal. Regarding this I have discussed very clearly in that NCERT sessions, so you can refer that one. Okay. So now coming to this trace, a trace is sum of all the elements which are lying, okay, which are lying in your sum of all the elements which are lying along the principal diagonal, right? Matrix A along the principal diagonal. You can see here sum of all the elements of a square matrix A lying along principal diagonal is called trace of a matrix, and it is represented by TR of A. It is represented by TR of A. So consider a square matrix. A is equal to, the order of this matrix is 3 cross 3. And what will be TR of A? It is sum of the elements lying along principal diagonal. That is 1 plus 5 plus 9. So that is 15. So here trace of the matrix is 15. So trace is only concerned with square matrix, not at all having any relation with your normal matrix, right? So now this was the trace. Okay. So coming to its properties, right? So let A is equal to Aij of an be a matrix of order n cross n, and B be a matrix Bij of order n cross n, and lambda be the scalar, Okay, then what happens? Trace of A, right, is equal to lambda into trace of A. I can write, sorry, this is trace of lambda into A. So trace of lambda into A can be written as lambda into trace of A. Why? Because lambda is a scalar, so lambda will come out. So lambda into trace of A. So now trace of A plus B can be written as trace of A plus trace of B. Trace of A plus B can be written as trace of A plus trace of B. Similarly, trace of AB can be written as trace of BA. These are the three properties, right? So which you should keep in mind in order to discuss about trace, right? So in this session, whatever we have learned, we have brushed up some small concepts. These are classifications, right? So and then we have also learned something about trace, right? So now what you need to do is pause the video, take a moment and have a look at this. So if you want to make a note of that, you can make a note of that, or this is still easy, you can just remember that. Okay, so in upcoming sessions there are some more topics to discuss, which we will discuss very clearly. Then we are going to discuss about certain tricks, right? So you might be wondering what is the trick, or how the tricks might be applicable here, how the tricks might be useful in these sections, right? So but definitely there are tricks. For example, if you want to go for calculation of A inverse, right? So I hope you might have till now you might have solved many problems. There are a number of problems given in your NCERT book, right, which you might have solved, right? So to calculate the A inverse, what is the procedure to calculate A inverse, right? So either you should go for row transformations and use the concept A into A inverse is equal to I, then you get the A inverse. That is one thing, right? Or second one, use the formula A inverse is equal to 1 upon determinant A into adjoint A, right? So these are two methods by which we can get the value of A inverse, right? A inverse is what? 1 upon determinant A into adjoint A. There is no problem with determinant A, but definitely there will be a problem with adjoint. If it is a 3 cross 3 matrix, right? So finding out adjoint is a tedious process. Why? Because first we need to calculate minus, we need to calculate cofactors, right? Then we need to form the cofactor matrix. Then we need to take the transpose of cofactor matrix. Then we are going to end up with the adjoint of a matrix. So it is a lengthy and tedious process, but there is definitely a simple trick for that, so which we are going to discuss in upcoming sessions. So to be aware of the trick, to know the trick, so stay tuned with the channel, right? So in the meanwhile, you can brush up the things, whatever was there. If you get any doubt, you can get back to my NCERT sections. There all the doubts are clear, will be cleared. If you have any doubt, you can comment me in the comment box. So today's sessions we are going to stop here, right? And then upcoming sessions we are going to discuss some more topics, some more different classification, and then we are going to start up tricks one by one. As I said, for the A inverse, there are still more tricks here which we are going to discuss one by one. Okay, so for right now we'll take a leave. Okay, take care, goodbye.